What is happening, guys? Welcome back. So this is a highly anticipated episode, and you can see by the thumbnail and title of the episode, we are going to be looking at and showing you how I fit T5 armrests to Mark 6 Golf GTD seats. Now, in my opinion, these Golf GTD seats are the comfiest seats on the market that you can put in one of these vans. Without the armrests, they're an amazing seat. With the armrests, they are then the ultimate captain's chair that you can fit in one of these vans. And fitting the armrests isn't the most difficult thing in the world. It is quite involved, which is what this video is going to be, and explaining what you do. So the basis of what we're going to be doing, obviously fitting armrests. Now I've gone for, and the only one I would want to fit, are genuine Volkswagen T5 armrests. They're in a fabric material, and the fabric actually matches the seat pretty well. So yeah, we've got a pair of those, and you also buy, in the kit that you get a pair of brackets that mount onto the steel frame of the seat, which, yeah, unfortunately, we've got to strip this seat completely down, all the way down to the metal frame, and then you fix that to the metal frame. We're going to be removing the airbag from the seat as well, because the airbag in the seat won't work in the van, so that isn't really a major issue. We'll remove that, fill that area with a new bit of foam that I've got. These are bolted on, reupholster the seat, cut a little slit, bolt the armrests on, and you end up with one of these. The seats have got heated, they are heated seats, they've got the heating elements in them. This episode, we're not going to be worrying about them, we're just going to worry about getting the armrests on. I am in discussions with someone at the minute about making a loom so that these seats will work with possibly the original T5 switches that go in the dashboard. That will then make these heated captain's chairs. Just taking them chairs up to the next level. Before we get on with installing them, I want to talk to you about today's video sponsor, Athletic Greens. Now, I've been using AG1 by Athletic Greens as part of my daily routine for just over a year now, and I'm so stoked that they approached me about working together, because I really feel the benefit of using it in my daily routine. Just one scoop has 75 vitamins, minerals and whole food sourced ingredients. So it's like taking your multivitamin, greens powder, pre and probiotic all in one tasty drink. Simply add one scoop to 8 to 12 ounces of water, shake, and you've got a tasty, healthy drink. AG1 is gluten-free, dairy-free, paleo, vegan, keto and low in calories with less than 1 gram of sugar per serving. Using AG1 means you don't need to store various vitamins and minerals to get your recommended daily intake. Using AG1 as part of my daily routine, I feel my immunity is supported, my energy levels are boosted, and I've got a happier and healthier gut. You really do notice a difference in energy levels if for some reason you miss a day. So click the link below to get started on your AG1 journey and get a year's free vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 free travel packs with your first order, or by visiting athleticgreens.com/Dan Chambers. A massive thank you to Athletic Greens for sponsoring the episode. So, what we've got to do, first of all, now they're on the bench, is strip the seat down, which involves removing all the plastics, all of these clips and trims and everything that are on them, and we want to detach the backrest from the seat base. So, let's get on with it, and I'll try and explain it as I'm doing it. First thing to remove is the lumbar support. Simply clips on, use a trim tool to get it off. Next thing, you want to use the height adjuster. Now that's got a metal clip inside, which I use a screwdriver, knock the clip back, and that slides straight off. Next up is the backrest adjust. This just clips on. I simply used a trim tool and very carefully prised it off, and it came off. And now the lever to tilt the seat for being out of a 3-door. These are quite difficult to get off. They've got bits of metal clips inside, and just pull it very hard and it will come off. And then using a trim tool, the trim simply clips off. Remove the headrest. And now we're going to look at removing these lower side covers. So there's a small little clip at the back which has got a pin in the middle of it. Knock the pin forward, try not to lose the pin. You want to use a screwdriver or something to pry the back edge of it up over the backrest adjust. There's a small clip at the front, and then the piece simply slides off forward from the metal frame of the seat. On the other side, we've got another little trim at the back, which is the same process. There's a little roll pin, knock that through, hopefully try and not lose the plastic bit, pry the back piece off, and there's a piece of plastic there that you saw that came from up in between the fabric. You also need to remove the lower seatbelt anchor point, which is the same piece, an M8 spline that screws into the seat runner. Disconnect the wiring for that as well, making note of the routing of it so you can put it back into the same position. Once that's removed, there's a small torque screw, and then the trim piece simply clips out of place. Next up is the wiring. So I just use some cutters to cut the cable ties off. You've got the wiring for the airbag and also for the heat pad on the backrest. Make a note of the cable route so you put them back in the right place. We're not going to worry about the airbag wiring because that's not going to be going back in, seeing as the van can't take it. So just cut the plug off, pull it through, job done. So that's the seat with all the plastics removed. We've removed the seat belt, all the backrest, because this was for a 3-door car. Cover the other side, covers headrest. So we're down to this point now. And at this point it's worth noting how things sit. So you've got this extra flap here, which is on the backrest, which is to cover all this mechanism so that you don't see it from inside the seat. And that pulls, you've got a bit of elastic on that. It pulls down the inside and goes to that little clip just there. So you need to get that off. And then there's one this side as well, which is this piece of elastic here, which goes down behind this piece of metal and then would pull and clip onto the front there to pull that tight so that it covers all the mechanism. So once we've established where they go and we've undone them, you've got this fix in here and this fix in here, which I believe are M8 spline, the same as the seatbelt one. Undo that one and that one and that one and that one, and the backrest will come off the base. And that is the backrest separated from the seat base. Now, I want to give them a bit of a clean while you're at this point and all these bits you can't normally get to. But what we need to do now is get the fabric off. And you've got a join here, there's joins up here. And then inside the seat, you've got the hog rings, which I'll explain in a moment. In here, you just pull the fabric and there's a plastic hook, a plastic piece there. That basically just folds and clips in. So you just pull that out. Pull that side out as well, that one comes out, and then you've got a big long one that runs down the middle, which you want to get out. Can be a bit fiddly. That comes off there, and then you've got one there and one on that one as well. And on the inside of the seat, you've got another clip, which is just there that you need to get off the seat frame, which again can be a bit of a pain, but I durable like that. And then there's another over this side as well, which to get off like that. So that's got that fabric off the back. So now you've got all the back off and you've undone all of these bits that are onto the seat frame as well. Turn the seat over. We now need to tackle the front. Now, you've got something in here called a hog ring, which is that little silver bit in there that you can see. And that is basically a piece of round steel bar, if you like, or pin that's, I don't know, a 2mm in diameter. That's shaped like a C. If you can find a picture, it's up there. And you basically put that on the seat cover itself. We've got plastic or metal rods sewn into it, and there's metal rods in the seat foam. You put the hog ring around both metal bars, crimp them together, and that pulls it in and gets the fabric nice and tight and gives you these lines so that you've got sort of bumps and whatever. So we need to remove them. Now, the way that I have been removing them is just with a pair of normal wire cutters. They're a bit of a pain. You can get in. You've got them along here. You've got them up the sides, and I think they're at the top. These middle three are plastic clips nicely, so you just need to get them with a screwdriver and unclip them. So let's get this fabric off. Hopefully you can see in there, these are the little plastic clips just here, and all I do is get a trim tool, pull the clip back one side, pull it up and that releases it like that. So you got them all the way along there on 1, 2, 3 of those. So I forgot, on the back you've got a metal bar running side to side. You need to undo the metal ring, the hoop around the end to get that off, which isn't the easiest. There you go. Fabric is off the seat. Now the seat heat pads are woven into the seat as well. So retrofitting heated seats, or we couldn't put an aftermarket set in. So we're going to try and get these working in a future episode, if we can. So we've got that off. What we need to do now is remove the seat foam. We've got to undo this top bit here, which is 2 screws, torque screws. Same size as we've been using on the rest of the seat. 20 or 15, I can't remember. Don't lose screws. So the other seat, when I did that one, that had already been to pieces. Someone had already been in, the airbag had been deployed, so it had been in an accident. There are all sorts of different things going on. And to remove the seat foam, you've got to get it over these plastic pieces, which you can't because it's a bit tight. So on the other seat, all they'd done was they'd put a knife in and put a slit down there and a slit down there. And now I've got the other seat back together. You can't tell that there's any slits in there. So we'll do the same. We'll put a slit there to get the foam off. There we go, back down to just the frame of the seat. We've removed the airbag. It's over there, ready to either be set off or go in the bin. What we need to do now is work out how we mount these, which are the brackets for the armrests, to the seat. And very, very handily, we've got a nice little hole just here and a nice hole just here. This has got a thread all the way through this central piece. Basically, that bolts on there. We drill another hole up here and put a nut and bolt through there. And when you look at the seat we've already done, putting them there mounts them in about bang on the right place. And when you sat in there, your elbow sits exactly where it wants to be. So what we want to do is just make sure the armrest is going to be in the correct orientation for being up or coming down. First thing we need to do is get a drill with an 8mm drill bit on and drill this hole out, like that. And now we want to work out where we're going to put, how we're going to put these brackets on. So you've got, this one's got a hole this here, and that one's got a hole in here. Now, what you want to do is on it'll make sense. On this side, the one that's got this hole in, the hole you want to try and put in this square that's down here. We're not using that. Put it to there, bolt this on, and then once that's bolted on in some form of orientation, offer your armrest on. And what I tried to do was get the armrest to be sat about level or running parallel with the back of the backrest. And when you pull it down, you've obviously got your adjustment on your screw, but the way that to set it really is to get the back of this armrest running parallel to the back of the seat, and then that will then give you where you need to cut the rest of this stock material off. And all I do is get a pick, scribing tool, and draw around the back of it to the shape of the seat with the pick. We'll then get an angle grinder with a cutting disc in it, cut that one off, and we can drill a new hole and bolt them on. So we'll get the other side done as well. And there we go, those are set. So we've just measured from the bottom up to make sure that they are the same both sides. We've marked the back of them, so we can take these off. We'll go and cut the brackets down now. That's the plates cut down now to match the shape of the seat, and so that they'll work. I've also cut some bolts down so that when we bolt these on from the back, they won't go interfering with the bolt that's going to come in from the other side to mount the actual armrest onto the bracket. So we'll get these fitted now to the seats, and that will then give us, get them in the orientation with the armrests, correct place, and then we can drill through and give us the second mounting hole to get them fitted. So now we've measured again, basically we've got 80mm from the bench to the plastic part of the armrest, so to that plastic bit there, we've got 80mm from the bench to there on both sides, which are the same. And then we can drill new hole just here on both ones, nut and bolt then, start putting it back together. There we go, brackets are mounted on. So you've got the centre bolt here, which goes through and into the thread that's in the middle of this, making sure it's short enough that when we go putting the armrest on, we're not going to foul it with the bolt. We've drilled a new hole just here, and we've nut and bolted it with nylock bolts. I've put a little bit of thread lock on both the centre ones. Both sides are done, so let's look at getting the foam back on, marking and cutting the hole for this, and then we need to fill the hole in the foam where the airbag was. There we go, foam is on, and I've drilled a hole for the one this side. So all I did was put the foam on, sort of forced it and pulled it over into the right place, pushed it over and found the centre point, or where the raised centre point was, marked it with a pen, and then we've gone in with a 25mm hole saw or 20mm and just drilled a hole. So the foam now is sitting exactly where it wants to be. The other side, this is the hole where the airbag was, and quite nicely the armrest is in that opening. Now this isn't a step that you necessarily need to do. I didn't do it on the seats that I fitted into my first T5, the Mark 5 GTIs up here. I never bothered. You never knew the fabric was tight enough, and you never knew that it was there. And the only way you'd know it was there is if you felt the seat and there was sort of a void there. But what I am going to do, for the sake of doing it and because we're putting it on the internet now, is I've got the old caddy seat that came on the seat base. We've stripped that to pieces, and we've got the foam out of that. So what I'm going to do now is just cut a piece out of this foam with the easiest way that I found of doing it is a hacksaw blade or like a bread knife or something. Cut a piece out, we'll insert a piece in there, and then we can look at putting the covers back on. And there you go. So we've cut a piece of foam out and we have stuck it in. So all I've used is some spray adhesive. We've cut the foam and got it to the right shape, the right size, the right depth and everything. Bit of glue around the perimeter of both. Stuck that in there. We've left a gap here for where this mounting for the armrest is. So what we can do now is begin putting the cover back on, remembering to clip everything back on and put everything back in. Now, I've not got any hog rings. I'm not got any hog ring pliers or anything. What I have got, I don't like using the word hack, because hack, yeah. What we've got is a trick. And what we're going to use instead of hog rings is cable ties. Now I did this on the other seat, and I imagine I'm going to get upholsterers screaming at the TV or wherever they're watching this now saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It worked on the other seat. I'm trying to make these videos relatable, and you haven't got to go out there and buy hog ring pliers, hog rings themselves. I've watched videos on them, they're meant to be an absolute nightmare to fit. These are actually quite easy to do. It works on the other seat, so we'll do it on this one and show you how we did it. So let's make a start putting this seat cover back on, making sure we clip everything back in. Now, something I forgot to mention when we were taking the seat to pieces is the top line up here isn't hog rings and it isn't plastic clips. It is Velcro, a really strong Velcro. So you just need to push this down, get it in the right place with your hand sort of outside the fabric, push it down, stick that to there, and then we'll start with the cable ties, clipping it in, cable tie clip, cable tie clip. Using the cable tie as a hog ring, you've got the metal bar there which is in the seat, fold the cable tie around that, and then in the seat you've got that little hole, cable tie through there, pull it tight, cut the excess that comes through there off, job done. And there you have that. Backrest is all reupholstered. You can see the bulge there and the bulge there. We'll knife the fabric and push it back in a little bit, but we want to get this and the seat base back together. And there we go, one seat all back together, fabric looking right, doing what it's supposed to do, holding in the right place. Got a bulge there and a bulge just there. So what we're going to do is get a Stanley blade. I'm just going to cut a little slit across on it and then push the fabric back and we'll mount these on. There we go. So all I've done is just cut basically a slit and then pushed it over with a screwdriver and pushed all the material in so it's neat on both sides like that. Armrests, you just pull this plastic cover off, it says, like that. And in the kit, whatever I've done with them, you get a bag of bolts and you want the 2 Allen head bolts. So you want these ones. And you want a 6mm Allen key. The armrest goes onto the bracket like that. Do that up. Do the other side. That's your lot. And there you go. Armrest fitted to the GTD seats, making it the most comfortable, a pair of the most comfortable captain chairs, in my opinion, that you can get. And in the grand scheme, they're not really that difficult. It's more time consuming. So I think all in so far, this one seat has taken us probably about 3 hours, and that includes stopping for filming and having to redo things because camera died. But yeah, we've got them done. They're on, looking absolutely trick. So happy with how they are. And like I say, they are the comfiest seat now. So I want to say a massive thank you to Carl at T5 Stylize for giving me an absolutely banging deal on 2 pairs of these armrests. He's also given me a code, Chambers10, which will get you 10% off your order if you want a set of these. I'll put a link in the description, all the information in the description as well. But a massive thanks to Carl from T5 Stylize for sorting me out a great deal on these armrests. Right, let us get these seats in the van. Make sure everything fits, clears, works, spins on the swivels. and we'll call it job done. And there we go. Seats are mounted in the van, swiveled back round. I've just checked they don't hit anything. So we'll turn them round, show you them from the front. And I've just sat in the driver's seat and they are so comfortable. And then swivel round. So you're in driving position. They're in, fit, look nice. Everything's in the right place. They honestly are so comfortable and just comfortable seats, armrests, cruise control on. This is going to make for some epic cruising. And then when we've sorted the back out, it's going to make for nice camping. Swivel these round. You've got 2 extra seats as well as the seats in the back. So yeah, well worth doing in my opinion. And like I keep saying, my opinion, these are the most comfortable seats. And with them armrests on, are even better. So I've said earlier in the video, we are looking into, and I'm talking to somebody about trying to get the heated seats working. We did buy aftermarket heated seat pads to put in these seats, but the way that these seats are made with the heat pads being sort of, if you like, woven into the fabric and the way that they'll fit together, it's not possible. We can't do it. So we're going to try and get these heated seats working from the Mark 6 Golf with the T5, possibly with the T5 switches. If we can't use the T5 switches, I'm sure we'll get them working with something else. But that is that one done, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and learned something. If you are going to go and do this, do tag me on Instagram. And yeah, I love seeing what you guys have been doing off these videos. I make them to hopefully make your guys' lives easier. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Until next time, enjoy.